Eriette of the Charmed Apple. She is going to be extremely popular when the set comes out in just a little bit. For 3 mana, you can make it so our opponents can't attack us if their thing's enchanted. And then at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X and you gain X for X's number of auras you control. But I think I'm going to do my deck a slightly different way. We're going to incentivize other people to attack each other. Now, what I like about this idea is that we can enchant our own creatures if we want to make them bigger and then kind of swing in as well. So it's kind of got a little bit of playroom depending on how the game's going. So a better way to start people attacking each other than goading their creatures. Ghoulish, Martial, and Parasitic Impetus are all incredible. They all goad the creature they're attached to. They all give power and toughness bonuses, and maybe even a death touch as far as Ghoulish Impetus goes. Ghoulish Impetus comes back to us. Martial Impetus basically buffs the other creatures that are attacking said other players. And Parasitic Impetus, whenever enchanted creature attacks, its controller loses 2 and you gain 2. Big bonuses all around. Next up are the Vows, Vow of Duty, Malice, and Torment. They're kind of the same as the Impetus cycle. The creature it's attached to cannot attack you or planeswalker you control, and it gets a power and toughness boost as well as some sort of keyword, just kind of, attacking everybody else and giving their creatures really cool things. Next, we've got 3 that can go on, I don't know, either our creatures or somebody else's creatures. Enchanted creature gets 1/1 for each artifact or enchantment we control. And again, maybe we could run this as some sort of Voltron theme or something. I don't know. There's lots of ways to play with the deck, and I really quite like that. A couple of angel type things here. We got Sarah's Embrace and Angelic Destiny. Enchanted creature gets lots of things and is an angel, and then Angelic Destiny returns her hand when the creature dies. Lots of really cool stuff in these. Rune of Mortality and Spectral Steel. Rune of Mortality enters, we draw a card, and then enchanted permanent has Death Touch, and then enchanted creature gets +2/+2 with Spectral Steel, and we can return something else later from our graveyard. Just kind of some neat basic bonuses. Battle Mastery and Blessing. Battle Mastery, of course, gives the enchanted creature double strike, and then Blessing, you can pay a white and give creature +1/+1 until end of turn, and as long as we got white mana, we can just pump that creature like crazy. So if it's attached to something else, they can't attack us, right, with our commander out, which means we can just pump it to death and then possibly kill somebody. Pariah, all damage that will be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. So this is kind of just a, incentive not to attack, or kind of a protection, or whatever, what have you. Minions return. This enchanted creature dies and then returns to the battlefield under our control. This could be on our commander, this could be on a really cool creature somebody else controls, whatever. And it's got flash, which makes it even better. Songbird's Blessing. This one, whenever enchanted creature attacks, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an aura. You may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it in your hand and then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. She's got a squirrel on her head and some birds. This is basically Cinderella right here. This is what's happening. She's got a rat on her butt. I don't know. There's a lot happening here. But anyway, it's a great card. Next off, we want to protect our commander like crazy. So we're probably going to give her some stone skin. It's flash. Enchanted creature goes +0/+10. This just kind of protects from like a lot of like damaged things. I don't know, it's kind of neat. Or we could put it on something else. I don't know, I just really like this card. Spirit Mantle and Unquestioned Authority. Enchanted creature gets pro creatures. That's basically all we need to know. Also, look at that gorilla. Here we got 3 more that do the same thing. Indestructibility, Shielded by Faith, and Timely Ward. Guess what? They all give the enchanted creature indestructible. That's again, this is all we need to know. Just protect the commander like crazy. And last but not least, here is Lauren's Escape. It's an instant. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. And then we scry 1. Pretend Lauren here is Ariat and she's running away from authority, I guess. I don't know. Next section is aptly named Don't Hit Me. We got Ghostly Prison and Sphere of Safety, making it so it's harder to attack us. Sphere of Safety is going to get just insanely large for every creature that attacks us. The controller's going to have to pay a lot of mana because we're going to control a lot of auras by the end of this. Then we have Surge of Salvation. This gives us and our permanents. We control hexproof until end of turn, and then we also prevent damage from black and or red sources. That would be dealt to creatures we control this turn. So it's, I don't know, just don't hit me, please. Next section, we've got 3 cards that make our enchantments cost less. This is Transcendent Envoy, Starfield Mystic, and Killian Ink Duelist. Ours cost 1 less, enchantment spells cost 1 less, and spells you cast that target a creature cost 2 less, which means it just helps get our enchantments and auras out faster. This next section has a lot of extra goodies that just kind of added to our aura bonuses and stuff. We've got Neva, Stalked by Nightmares, and Slumbering Keep Guard. Basically, whenever an enchantment enters or leaves, you scry one, depending on which card it is. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares also returns something from our graveyard to our hand. Slumbering Keep Guard can also make himself bigger for each enchantment we control, and then we can just pay 3 any amount of times to just keep adding that buff. Again, making this creature potentially huge. Underworld Coinsmith, this is an enchantment itself, and whenever it or another enchantment enters under your control, we gain a life. Again, this is we're gonna gain a bunch of life probably. And we can also pay white-black and 1 life, and then each opponent loses a life. Aromancer and Monk Idealist do literally the exact same thing. When it enters the battlefield, return an enchantment from our graveyard to our hand. Not bad at all. Heliod's Pilgrim, this enters and we search for an aura and then we reveal it and put it in our hand. Now I've got Silver Quill Command in here because I like the flexibility of it. We can give a creature 3/3 and flying. We can return a small creature from our graveyard to the battlefield. We can draw a card and lose a life. We could also have an opponent sack a creature. It's just like there's a lot you can do with this card. I like the flexibility. And last in the goodies section, we've got Glaring Spotlight, which removes hexproof from our opponent's creatures pretty much and allows us to attach our auras to certain things, and then if it's gonna die or something, we can pay 3 and sacrifice it to give our creatures hexproof until end of turn and unblockable. So that's pretty great. I don't really want a spotlight shining in my eyes either. Since we're gonna have a lot of things entering and leaving, we're gonna have a lot of forced life loss. So we've got Grim Guardian. Whenever it or another enchantment enters under our control, each opponent loses 1 life. Next, we've got Wicked Visitor, which basically the same, but whenever an enchantment we control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. Treacherous Link. Now it's got some old wording and it's really hard to understand. Like it's hard to get your head around what it's saying. But basically it says all damage that will be dealt to enchanted creature is dealt to its controller instead, which means, hey, if this creature takes combat damage or, I don't know, blasphemous act damage or something, that's just gonna go straight to the controller of the creature. I don't know, it's a fun guy, and this crocodile's getting snacked. And we got Visions of Brutality. Enchanted creature can't block, and whenever enchanted creature deals damage, its controller loses that much life. So it just kind of keeps them from attacking unless they want to take some damage. And they can't attack us anyway, so, you know, whatever. All right, we got a little bit of removal here. We got some Agent of Erebos garbage going on here. We got a Constellation, so whenever it or another enchantment enters, we exile all cards from target player's graveyard. This is just a repeatable Bajuka Bog. It's really dumb and probably very annoying, so I'm sorry in advance. Crush Contraband and Fracture, destroying artifacts and enchantments, and possibly a Planeswalker. And then we have Dismantling Wave. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment they control, or you can cycle it to destroy all artifacts and enchantments, but we probably don't want to do that because all our stuff is enchantments. So, all right, let's draw some extra cards here. So we got Core Spirit Dancer, Mesa Enchantress, and SRAM Senior Edificer. They all draw us a card when an aura or enchantment enters, and that's basically all we need them for. Then we've got Lord Skitter's Blessing, the gross Rat King guy. When it enters, you create a Wicked Roll token attached to target creature you control, so that's a thing that does stuff. And then at the beginning of your draw step, if you control an enchanted creature, you lose 1 life and you draw an additional card. That's kind of a cool, like, repeatable draw effect, and I really like it. But I hate this gross hunched rat guy. He makes me uncomfortable. Ashiok's Reaper. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, we draw a card. So this will probably happen a lot, seeing as there's a lot of enchantments in the deck. Hateful Eidolon is a 1/2 with lifelink, and whenever any enchanted creature dies, we draw a card for each aura we controlled that was attached to it. So we could stack something really, really tall, and then if it dies, we just draw a bunch of cards. Or this could work in like a board wipe or something if we've got a bunch of auras out. So I don't know, it's pretty neat. Underworld Connections. Enchanted land has tap, pay a life, and draw a card. Yeah, it's just another aura, you know, and people lose life for the auras we control on our turn, so I thought this was very appropriate. If you want to learn more about the ramp that could go into this deck, check out this playlist here, and it'll go through all of those kind of cards. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this deck makes some sort of sense. Maybe it's a little too toolboxy, I don't know, because you can do multiple things with it. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss your weekly dose of magic. Also, thanks to my patrons.